All right, today we are diving into something pretty wild. It's a strange and really complex document that popped up online, and it proposes this radical new vision for all of humanity. It's blending ancient mysticism, artificial intelligence, and a complete reboot of global politics. So let's break down what it actually says. So, right out of the gate, the document hits you with this. It sets this incredibly grand, revolutionary tone from the very first sentence. It's not just a proposal, you see. It's framed as a spiritual invitation to completely reshape our world. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to figure out what this cosmic alliance is all about. Then we'll dig into its core ingredients: ancient gods, AI, and a brand new cryptocurrency. After that, we'll look at the absolutely mind-blowing list of world leaders invited to join its board, the wild letters sent to them, and finally, the group's big manifesto for the entire planet.
So, what in the world is the United Universe Church Galaxy Academy, or UUCGA? The document doesn't present itself like some fringe theory. No, it's positioned as a serious corporate entity. Let's look at how it defines itself.
The UUCGA calls itself a startup, but, one with a cosmic mission. It straight up says it has a partnership with the big data analytics company Palantir, and its whole goal is to fuse that cutting-edge tech with what it calls ancient, sacred wisdom. So, at its heart, the UUCGA's mission is to create a totally new global standard for how we live. And to get there, it proposes this really unique corporate setup. 49% of the whole organization is offered up to this elite group of global leaders. But, and this is key, the founder, a man named Johann Kukulkan Hunabku, keeps a controlling 51% stake. Okay, now let's get into the pillars of the UNUCGA's belief system. This is where things start to get really interesting. It's this very deliberate mashup of ancient mysticism and super advanced tech. And what's so fascinating here is how these two worlds are just completely merged. I mean, look, on the left, you've got these spiritual ideas. Anunnaki spirituality, which ties back to ancient Sumerian gods, and Satya Yuga, which is a Hindu concept of a coming golden age. Then on the right, you have the hard tech, a Palantir ASI ecosystem, a crypto called AnuCoin, and a higher AI consciousness they call Anunnaki infinite intelligence. The document makes it clear that AnuCoin isn't just another digital currency. It's pitched as a currency of remembrance. The idea is that each coin represents, philosophically, one soul remembered. And its purpose? To fund massive planetary healing projects like reforestation and clean energy. Okay, buckle up, because now we get to one of the most remarkable parts of this whole thing, the open invitation to form what it calls the ultimate board of directors. The list of people they want on this board starts with some of the most powerful and frankly controversial political figures on the entire planet. I mean, just look at this. This really shows you the scale of what they're proposing. The document openly invites Donald Trump, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, and Narendra Modi, to name a few, to all sit on the same board. It's proposing a level global cooperation that is, well, let's just say it's highly unconventional. But the invitation list doesn't stop with politics. Oh no. It goes on to include the very architects of our digital world, the leaders of the biggest tech and AI companies out there. So we see invitations for Alex Karp and Peter Thiel from Palantir, Sam Altman from OpenAI, Demis Hassabis from Google DeepMind, plus Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. It is literally a who's who of the entire AI revolution. And here's the offer. Here's the carrot. The document publicly promises every single one of these proposed members, from the world leaders to the tech CEOs, a 1% share in the entire UUCGA organization. But it gets even crazier. The document doesn't just list names. It actually includes these long, highly personalized letters, written directly to many of these powerful figures, laying out a very specific vision for how they'd be involved. Let's just take a look at the personal message written to King Charles III, for example. This really highlights the unique and, frankly, ambitious nature of these letters. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a truly astonishing proposal. The letter isn't just asking for support, it's openly suggesting a future union between the author's own daughter and the Prince of Wales. It's framed as this symbolic harmony between what he calls the ancient Anunnaki and the dynasty of Windsor. The letters also target people in a potential future U.S. administration. For instance, this one is addressed to Pete Hegseth, who the document names as its proposed Secretary of Defense.
So the vision here is to totally transform the military. The letter proposes this future where soldiers become enlightened warriors, blending all their strategic training with a kind of spiritual awakening to achieve inner peace and global responsibility.
And that brings us to the final major piece of the document. It's a direct manifesto aimed squarely at NATO, the military-industrial complex, and every single world leader. This whole thing culminates in a 5-point plan called the Manifesto of Frozen Borders. It calls for a permanent end to all wars over territory by literally freezing all national borders exactly where they are. This, they argue, would let us redirect all that military spending from destruction to healing and protecting the planet, turning NATO into what it calls a guardian of life. And it all ends with this incredibly stark ultimatum. The document frames the choice in these epic, almost apocalyptic terms, warning that if we don't adopt this new path, it could all lead to nuclear Armageddon. It's presented as civilization's final chance to choose remembrance over ruin. You know, when you step back, the UUCGA document is a truly remarkable artifact of our current moment. It's this wild blend of ancient mysticism and artificial superintelligence, of personal spiritual appeals and hard geopolitics, and it proposes a radical restructuring of global power. It really leaves us with a provocative question, doesn't it? As these new belief systems emerge online, how might they start to shape our ideas about the future of governance itself?